What's up, everybody? This is Markus, your MTT coach of the Academy of Poker, and we have another hand review for you today. As always, make sure to hit the follow button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the video, leave a comment if you have any question or you just want to say good work, bad work, whatever, any kind of critic is welcome. And yeah. Hi guys, my name is Markus. I'm an MTT coach of the Academy of Poker, and we have a great offer for you. Our current Academy of Poker course will only cost you 200 euros, but if you do it the right way, you can even get it for free. All you have to do is hit the link in the description below, get in contact with our managers, and you can start right away. And now, enjoy the upcoming video. This time today, some spots where I think a lot of people are struggling. So I thought, because I wasn't sure as well, sizing wise, and how to proceed in some spots completely. So thought share that with you so we can have a look at it together to see what the best line here is, and yeah, how to do that and how to play those kinds of spots. We see an open from UTG 67 big blinds deep here. This was again from a scoop tournament earlier in the series. Yeah, pretty safe 3-bet here from Ace King. We can have a short look here, guys. This is the UTG range. In this case, the raise calling range. Where you see, so sometimes he would play aces slow, for example, sometimes kings. Most likely fold most of these hands, but because we're deep, he will often enough still call those. Just call ace king off of mostly, ace queen off, ace jack off. As you see, pretty much all the pocket pairs you open, you call there as well, just because we are so deep here. Therefore, it makes sense. And then, as you see, sometimes some of the suited Broadway stuff or even the king queen off depends on the player. Maybe we would even see a raise call with jack 9, but this is like such a small percentage of those players that we just go for that. On the other side, our 3-betting range, and you see we are pretty capped here in general because there's an UTG open, which in general already is a really tight range, and therefore we don't have that much as well. As you see, we just, of course, all the premiums with 3-bet. Depending on the opponent, I would not even always 3-bet the pocket pairs here. Nines most likely call, but sometimes again if it's an opponent where now he raises a lot, I will also 3-bet nines. We are in position there, so we can definitely get some value. We'll have some 3-bet bluffs in here, some of the ace blockers, or here where we block kings, queens, jacks, and stuff like this. So we will 3-bet this, but as you see, with a fairly low percentage. Also here, ace 4 suited, sometimes ace 5 suited, because nice yeah, just nice equity, especially on low boards, where we will also just get so many calls from ace high stuff and so on. And even if we only have 3 outs, if he has like ace queen or something like that, those can perform really nicely. Also, we will get some of the weaker, like ace 10 off, ace jack off. We will get that to fold here often enough, so therefore it makes sense. So yeah, make the 3-bet, get the call. Sizing wise, also pretty standard, 3x in position here. Could maybe, because we're deep, go a bit bigger, especially with people behind. That think, okay, he will most likely call anyway, so the price is not that bad for me. But I think 3x is still fine. Now we get this kind of flop. And this is, of course, exactly what you don't want to see when you have ace king of diamonds. I mean, at least there is one diamond on the board, but the board is really low, and as said, he can have still all the pocket pairs. So how do you continue here? So let's see what GTO tells us to do. First of all, 99% checking range from UTG, pretty expected in that regard. And yeah, let's have a look at our options here. Make it a bit smaller so you see you've got the different kinds, and you see there's a pretty good mix in here. So if we look at our specific hand, for example, going for roughly a quarter of the pot, pretty much exactly a quarter of the pot is the number one choice. Going for half the pot is pretty much the same. And then, yeah, going for a third. I mean, it's pretty even, as you see. If we look just for our hand in general. If we look at the overall range, you see the half pot size is preferred, but everything is in between 10%, which is pretty much even so everything like a third of the time you do this, a third of the time you do that. Now let's see, for example, with aces, we would most likely go for the half pot sizing or for the really small sizing. I would prefer the small sizing here because the board is so dry. And other than pocket fives and pocket sixes, we just crush him. And a lot of people will even fold fives and sixes in UTG, depending on how tight they are. So we can go for the small sizing in that, or especially because of that, go for the bigger sizing, which is probably why this is recommended. Because there's sevens up to kings, or at least sevens up to queens pretty much always in the range. Kings will most likely will often enough 4-bet here, but all the rest we will get so many chips. And still remember, we are on the flop still 62, 61 big blinds deep effectively, which is still roughly 4.5 times the pot. So if we bet half the pot on the flop, we have 28 in the middle with 45 behind. Then we can bet like another, let's say we bet another half pot. Then we have a shove on the river for like 60, 70% of the pot, which is nice. With a smaller sizing, this gets a bit harder. And there's only 21 in the middle, and we would need to bet like 15. And in that way, we would we would definitely need to go big on the turn to be able to jam this. Now, I decided to go for the third, a bit more than a third here, and whoops, I went back, and we see the call. Let's have a look. So I went for a third, and as you see, I mean his range is already down to 10%, which is fairly tight, and he should be calling half of his range. Let's see, he would raise just because our range is so tight. He's definitely raising the sets because other than ace king suited and ace king offsuit, we will have so many overpairs, which means he can get it in pretty easily, and there might be some turns that will kill some of the action. So as you see, therefore you can raise them even with the other where you have at least some extra equity. Sevens and eights have a better chance at making it straight here than nines, for example, or tens, as you see. And then you see also queens, jacks, kings, aces. Of course, raise because of the given tight ranges. Uh, he will run into queens, kings, aces, or just ace king and can protect his hand from maybe hitting the king or the ace on the turn, for example, which would then kill the action for him. Other than that, folding a lot of the trash here where you just hit nothing. Definitely calling the small pairs here, because as I said, still possible for us to have like king queen suited or ace queen, ace king, stuff like that. But all in all, seems fairly standard, and you already see it. The turn is the deuce of diamonds. We pick up the nut flush draw. That's pretty cool. He is checking everything here, and suddenly we also start checking back quite a lot. As you see, half of the range should be checked, more or less, and the other half should be bet. Let's have a look. For example, aces, we keep on betting all those hands. There's, as you see at least, some checking going on when we have the diamonds, as you see. For example, with the jack of diamonds in here, like those combinations will sometimes check here. The clubs can check behind because of possible backdoor flush draws he might have with when he had suited suited hearts or suited diamonds, suited spades. Therefore, this one is rather a check behind, and this not that often here. But yeah, the rest, quite a lot of bets. Let's have a look at our specific hand, and you see all the ace king suited would be pretty much checks here, just not the clubs, because I said we don't block any of the flush draws. Our specific hand would be a bet here. I said we picked up quite some equity with the diamonds, so that is pretty nice. And yeah, we went for the 2/3 bet, roughly, as you see here. I mean, that's not that big of a difference, but he would prefer the 3/4 bet. I went for the smaller sizing here now, but it's not that big of a difference. It's a small mistake probably, so I should rather go for 2/3 than I should rather go for 75% than for 66%. So got to keep that in mind for the next time. But just because we pick up so much equity, we definitely continue to bet here. We got the nut flush draw, and it will be good often enough. What is interesting to see would be if he raises, we still always call with a nut flush draw. So just so you know, what happened here though is that he called, and then it's getting kind of rough because if he calls, let's have a look at what he's still calling. He's should be folding all of the weaker ace x he might have with some backdoors, even like ace 4 where he still has the gut shot to go with maybe. Should be folding that, and then yeah, maybe some floats he's folding. And he pretty much just called, as you see, he's just calling the pocket pairs. And then kind of all of them. And also always call, interestingly enough, with the second pair. Still, he's ahead of ace king, ace queen, ace jack, king queen suited, and stuff like that. So second pair would be most likely going all the way here. But yeah, his range is really capped now. So you don't like to see it that much. And yeah, we got the 4 of hearts on the river now. We see the call here. And now I need to calculate the river one more time. So he makes the check. Looked it up already. I can also just add that quickly because the river is really easy to calculate. So you see he has 100% checking range here. Even though he has, for example, now the full houses, because there's no need for him to bet. He will only get called if there's a strong hand, like overpairs, and if he checks, those overpairs will still bet all the time. Like you will literally probably never see a check back with kings aces or something like that, just because of the ranges UTG cutoff 3-bet, hijack 3-bet and call. So therefore, there's 100% checking range. And yeah, we check back a lot, even pocket nines. So as you see, that's one overpair we would check back sometimes. But other than that, we only bet the pairs and yeah, some of those busted draws where we want to try to get off pretty much of ace high, ace kings, ace queens and stuff. So we got a small amount of those hands, and our hand is literally always a check back. We can have a look if we go all in what he should be calling. And funny enough, for example, ace jack high should always be a call, probably exactly to catch those king queen, queen 10, queen jack of diamonds, queen 10 of diamonds, king 10, king queen of diamonds hands, as you saw, like those broadways. But other than that, you see just all value hands here, all the full houses and all the overpairs. The rest is folding, so it doesn't make sense because he just always has a calling hand. The only hand we beat with ace king is ace jack here anymore. Of course, in this case, he cannot have this hand because ace jack of diamonds is not possible as we have the ace of diamonds. However, in the end, he woke up with ace jack, which is interesting to see that he calls the turn bet here again. Because if you think about what I 3-bet there, my range is fairly wide. There's literally there's pretty much no hand he beats. And I said the only combinations he's beating is king queen of diamonds and ace 10 of diamonds then in this occasion, queen jack of diamonds, queen 10 of diamonds. So that is 4 combinations I would I would still barrel on the turn. And if we have a look here, I would give up those. As you see, we should continue then on the river with those, which makes it which gives us then a few more in a total. As you see, 14 combinations where ace jack will be good here on the turn still that we will barrel on the river. But other than that, we're always ahead. And I was kind of surprised to see the ace jack here, but yeah, worked out. Yeah, I think that's always a fold on the turn. And I mean, we can actually have a look. If we bet 20, let's see his folding range, fold here. And you see that's 100% a fold. So big mistake here on his side, cost him quite a lot of chips actually. But still interesting to see. If he lead jams the river, that would be a pretty sick play by him because yeah, we cannot call ace king of diamonds here for sure. But other than that, of course, we always call aces kings, which are all in our range. He blocks an ace. Maybe that was his incentive that it's hard for us to have aces, which is true. But still, we have all the kings, all the queens. He blocks a jack as well, but still, kings and queens for sure. Maybe that was his idea that he blocks jacks and aces, which are part of our 3-betting range here, which gives us an even lower amount of bigger pocket pairs. Anyway, I think a nice hand. Let me know what you think about the hand, guys. As always, yeah, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I wish you a nice day, good luck at the tables, and see you in the next video. Ciao.